Welcome back to the Gambling Dads podcast, where we are always dads. We are always gambling on relationships, jobs, sports, and all things life has to offer. I'm DS, that's Beal. We also want to start the podcast off by thanking everyone for their support. And if while you're here, please hit subscribe and like. Beal, you got anything to add to that?
Did you write that?
Yeah,
Is that a script?
I know you love the canned script part.
Is that a total script?
I don't know, a little bit. We need
good.
some
It's
sort
really
of
good.
we need some sort of beginning at some point. No,
It's wonderful. I love it.
no, it's all good.
I'm pro DS today.
Nah, that's all good. And I think one of the funny things is I think we've organically come up with some segments here. So through the podcast, we're definitely going to have a couple little segments. One's going to be Brad's self-help corner. I know we're going to check in with the DS job list, job minute, see how many jobs Dave DS had this week. It's on a week basis, of course, but and then there's always going to be some sports gambling probably at the end of the podcast. But just make sure you wait till the end because Brad's been working on a big send-off, right, Brad?
I definitely haven't been.
Okay. And,
I barely even have some gambling stuff thrown together, but I can jimmy something up. I've got an idea anyways. So.
Yeah, I don't have much on the gambling front this week, if I'm being honest, but we got to touch on your bets that you had as well.
Yeah, we'll touch on some stuff for sure.
Yeah. So
do you want to get this rolling? What are you going to start with?
Yeah, the starting to me, I think, was that social media stuff that we were looking at. So I was going to do a little bit about social media and how people do these social media videos, Instagram for the most part, or YouTube, and they're mouthing someone else's saying something in the background.
I don't get that one.
And they're mouthing.
Isn't it just someone else talking? Like, they're mouthing over someone else's voice. Right?
Yeah, which I think is the craziest one, right?
I don't understand the allure of it. That's for sure.
Yeah, and
that reminded me of something actually for later. Okay.
Yeah,
just making notes.
Who knows who picked how you picked some of these ones, because some of them are just off the wall. But my joke was going to be I was actually going to do one and mouth one out. But then Mr. Beal there got you did it yourself, kind of. You did one yourself.
I did with towels.
Yeah, so
last night. Not a mouthing. Which one did we do again? We did the one where you're bopping your head. That's kind of fun.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
But I'm not a huge social media guy, so I only have like 50 people on Instagram because I didn't want to invite all my friends. I just use it to search around and stuff. So we put on that. We got some like in the 60s for hits, which is pretty good considering I have no fanfare on there. You know what I mean?
All right.
Yeah, and it was so budget, like grainy, and the camera work was awful.
Oh, it was fine, but the whole to me what is now we got kind of behind the curtains. We see how the sausage is made. So you got to see how you kind of just clip the audio. So once you told me how you do it, I kind of looked a little bit about that as well.
Oh, you're doing some research. You're doing some research.
No, not even research. I just was on the Instagram, or the Insta, as the kids like to say, and
or the gram.
Or the gram. The gram.
I don't know. Sorry, go on. You're probably right.
Doesn't work either, right? I just kind of thought I saw how you actually just do the video, so that made a lot more sense of how people are doing it, because they're just clipping the video.
It's super easy.
Yeah,
I want to know. I want to know who's starting all these. They must feel like pretty good if you start the trend and then everyone starts doing it. Like, it's got to be one person first.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. For
you think it's someone?
Yeah.
Now, this is my ignorance playing in. Do you think it's someone on Instagram that's like, behind the scenes, it starts one and is basically like puts it up? It's just a random person that does that.
Yeah, I would say it's just.
How amazing would that feel if you started that and then like everyone's doing it?
Well, this is kind of where I'm leading to, is like, or what I was kind of sensing is isn't it just practically legalized plagiarism?
Oh, did you see what the loop around the music is? You download, you have your own audio, but you turn it down all the way, and then you have, at least for TikTok, it's how it works. You turn your audio down all the way, and then you turn the audio of the song that would be plagiarized up full, and you get away with it because it takes your audio as the audio for the recording. That's the loophole. I don't know how they, like, I know that everyone knows that's being done, so I don't know how you still get away with it. You know what I mean? But that's how they do it.
Yeah, which is strange. But mine is, this is what I'm saying is, imagine little Timmy going to school. Okay. So little Timmy's going to school and he's writing his little story. And he writes a story that's someone else's story. And the mom says to him, Timmy, you can't steal someone's homework or their story. That's ridiculous. And then Timmy says, oh, what are you going to do, Mom? Oh, I'm going to go on Instagram here and steal someone, reduplicate someone else's story, you know what I mean, and copy their
and over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's kind of, in the end, I think it's plagiarism, not legalized, because it's not illegal, I would say, to plagiarize, but it's kind of funny to see that people are just copying someone else's bit.
But the person that starts it also wants them to copy. Like, that's the fun in it.
Yeah, by and large. Oh yeah, I'm not
but I'm still saying the songs are still totally ripped. You know what I mean?
Songs or the ideas. People are just stealing the exact same idea from someone. And it just keeps going. And it's fun, you know, hilarity ensues.
Have you got me addicted to the reels though?
That's pretty funny.
I have spent a lot of time watching reels now. Not the ones that you send me.
Oh, you send me some too. It's like I knew we're in trouble when you start sending me reels.
I know, and then I get addicted, right? So
great. Yeah, that was a beginning for me. Just a little touch on social media and how I think it's comical that we're basically plagiarizing or stealing people's bits, but then we have to tell little Timmy to go to school and not
plagiarize when that's what they're being brought up on.
Yeah.
Well, Talia has a TikTok account. So our thing is her accounts have to be private where she's showing herself. So she only has one person that watches or whatever. But she has another account where she does edits. So my daughter's 12 for people that don't know. So my daughter does edits and that's allowed to be public. She has 15,000 followers.
15,000?
15,000 followers.
Holy cow, that's
but
wild.
She can't do anything with it, like in terms of turning it into like advertisers or anything, because I think you have to be 18 or something like that. So there's a rule anyways.
Which platform are we talking about?
That's TikTok.
Yeah, so I don't know how TikTok works, but I know I'm pretty sure YouTube, you have to have 1,000 subscribers for it to start.
Yeah, crazy, eh?
So
there you go.
Whole new world.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your little
what's up?
You got a little bit there, a little anything there?
Well, what do you want to talk about? Can we talk about the book?
You want to go to the self-help?
Brad,
I'll go self-help corner. We gotta maybe come up with some music ourselves.
I would not plagiarize.
Don't forget,
so
we do this
as we remember the mystery behind the calling in the one, 7 weeks to attract the love of your life. I'm actually not going to read it from it because I did highlight. I highlighted in it. Nice. Just a sec here. And it clearly, as you see, I'm not ever prepared. So
well, I'll filibuster. So for people who are just tuning in the first time, one of Brad's friends, Brad kind of just went through a breakup, and one of his friends kind of gave him a book to read. And it was
just like, let me cut in. It was unrelated. First of all, the breakup doesn't matter. It was a short relationship. So I don't want it to seem like it was something more than it was.
That's fair.
Because that gives too much credit to the other person. Fair. You know what I mean? So first, let's make that first. Second, the self-help book or the book was nothing to do with that. It was just kind of, it was funny how we teed it up because then 7 weeks to attract the love of your life, but then further talking with her, that wasn't the point of giving me the book. It was just in general. I don't know where we're going with it yet because I haven't got deep enough into it. So it wasn't anything to do with the very short relationship that was super insignificant. It was something more to do with, bettering yourself probably. But this is a funny thing. So it's called Calling in the One, 7 weeks to Attract the Love of Your Life.
You just ruined a previous bit of ours?
What do you mean?
Posthumously ruined a previous bit.
What was the bit? Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Because at the time,
we had a total bit going that they
we
had,
did
and
have a
now you
bit
just totally ruined a posthumous bit.
because at the time I thought that's what it was about. Now I feel like I'm showing too much body here. Like I should be up here.
Fine.
Anyways, I'm all
Fine.
awkward. Okay, so I was gonna read some stuff, but I get kind of nervous reading. Anyways, it's funny.
So
So
Brad
it's
has a
7 weeks.
passage in this book, and we are going to,
We're gonna talk
revel
about some stuff.
in the self-help realm in Brad's self-help corner.
And it's this week's gonna get good because I have some free time. Anyways, it's interesting because it says 7 weeks to attract the love of your life, but the book is actually a year to attract the love of your life, which makes a lot more sense because 7 weeks is a pretty tight deadline, don't you think?
Wait, so it says 7 weeks, but it's really a year? So that's
It's a year once you dive into the book. You got to dive. I haven't quite got there. I've got there to what I want to say about that.
You should sue them.
Well, I've gotten to where I want to get to talk about that with you, but I don't want to get there yet, if that makes sense. Anyways, we get into the book. So basically, this lady's 42. She's hyping herself. Like she's saying she's attractive, she's smart, she's got a good job. What's she doing wrong kind of thing. She's 42 years old. She's like, I'm going to put myself on it's 7 weeks to 8 months to a year. She's like, I'm going to put myself on an 8-month plan to meet the love of my life. So that's where she goes at the start. So anyways, starts off
for a second here.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible.
It's what?
It sounds like Sex in the City or something.
Very much, I'd say.
Okay.
The way it sounds so far. Yeah, that's a good analogy, I'd say. Okay, so anyways, so at
Which
one
not
point
saying
here,
that Sex in the City is bad, but not so great for men.
No. And we're early in this book. Look how early we are in the book. Okay, see how early we are in the book? Because so you think this book's about finding the love of your life? Early in this book, I found myself sipping on a large cup of coffee across from this handsome, bright, kind, and gentle man. I knew within an hour that he was the one I was searching for.
Just by sitting next to him?
Preface. No, she was on a date, a coffee date. Anyways, preface. Haven't gotten to the. Not only have we not got to chapter 1, we haven't even got to the introduction yet. She's already found the one.
So 5 pages.
Falling in the one. So she's found the one in the preface. Gets better. 1, 2, 3 paragraphs later. 10 years into our marriage, Mark and I chose to get divorced.
Same guy?
Same guy. But the book hasn't even started yet, and they've already been married and divorced. And she even at one point, I don't know what the call of the other book is, she even plugs her next book on it's something like The Uncoupling. So talking about how
you don't need the next,
basically you don't need the other person, which is crazy. But here's what I find out in the introduction. What do I find out? It's kind of, this is like high school where I'm just kind of scrambling to find the parts I need. Anyways, what I find out in the introduction, this book's a workshop. So it asks you to have like highlighters, pens, they might even say crayons, scissors. Like this entire book is going to be it's going to be like a guide to like a step-by-step guide. You're supposed to do one step every night for like 49 nights or something like this. Now I'm totally butchering this because I'm paraphrasing everything. Anyways, the funny thing, the last thing I'm going to leave you with here is early, like still in the introduction, they talk about they basically talk about if you're waiting for the laws of attraction, it's not going to happen. I thought we could talk about the laws of attraction because to me, I think that's the hugest thing. So this is a year to find the love of your life, but they're literally calling you crazy for not using the laws of attraction, like to feel like you're just going to bump into someone and that's going to be the person for you. Or
until you got jaded. A year to find the love of your life until you get jaded and give up.
And then they're not the love of your life. So anyways, I think it's crazy because I'm huge for the laws of attraction. I think attraction is the most important thing, not to keep a relationship, but I think to start a relationship, because I think you need that attraction initially. I think, this is bold, I think getting sexual early is huge because you need to know if you have that chemistry, because there's no, and it's ridiculous. It sounded like I'm giving advice. I'm not. I'm the last person that needs to give
What
advice.
age are we right now?
But
16 with the.
what was that? Were you going to give some advice?
No. When you started talking about the sex happens fast, I'm just trying to gauge what age we're at. 16
Any
years
age.
old, 10 years.
For
No,
me,
it's not any age. Let's not go to any age.
Okay, so
19
this is an
above.
adult book, so we're going
Yeah.
adults. Let's
Yeah,
go over
fair.
21 US legal stuff.
There you go.
Over 21.
18 and
Anyways, and we all know you don't find yourself till well after 21. I'm still trying to find myself. Anyways, I think sexual chemistry is huge. And my reason for that is not just because, I want to get some, because what if you don't have that sexual chemistry? Let's say you've been talking for 4, 5, 6 months, and then you get together and it just doesn't work for you, right? Then one person is in the awkward position of trying to let the other person down, and you might have all this super chemistry, like you might laugh together, you might love the same shit, and then all of a sudden you're taking a step back from that, and how do you let the person down? It's like a super tough letdown, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I can't even.
Like you just say the sex, you can't just say the sex wasn't good. So then you got to find excuses as to why you don't want to be with the person to them, so they feel like it wasn't because of the sex, even though they got to figure out that it was no coincidence that they just had sex and now you're done.
Oh, I mean, it's a monster component of it, right?
Yeah, but I just think the letdown is crazy if you go that deep, because then they might also think you're an ass because you've just had sex and that's all they might just think you were just building to the sex and that's all you wanted the whole time. So it's such a delicate thing. And I bet a lot of people stay in relationships because they don't want to let the other person down, because like nice people, they don't want to diss their partner because they didn't enjoy the sex. So they just stay in these relationships and then they're sexually unhappy.
Yeah.
I think. Did you just laugh there?
I said, imagine that.
Yeah. So isn't that theory kind of, it all makes sense what I'm saying, doesn't it?
It does to an extent, but like, I mean, I don't fathom people out there clanging and banging for 3-4 months before they have sex anyways. No, I mean,
no, but some people like to do it that way.
That's the way. That is.
There's some old-fashioned people, right?
Yeah, I guess I couldn't fathom that, just like you say, because then you're.
I couldn't either, because usually you meet someone on it. What was that?
At some point, you need to know whether the sexual chemistry is there or not.
100%, and it's better sooner than later, so Again, this isn't my theory. This is just what I'm saying for me. You know what I mean?
It's totally, and this kind of ties to a little bit what I was looking at too. Was the beta male, alpha male thing that we
talked about that, and I was going to see how we were going to get to this. So this is great.
It is. And it isn't.
Go ahead.
Because it's funny, because I read the one article, and I think we came up. Well, it's confusing to me because I read the one article and I kind of found one of them. Oh, maybe that is more like me, not because I don't think I've ever read some of these and thought myself to be one. So, for instance,
I thought, just like, I need to cut in. I'm not going to interrupt your story to a big extent. I thought you figured out what.
Yeah, but
what
that's what I mean. And then I did some research on it, and that's not really the one, like the gamma male, right? But so
this is going to be lesson learning for me. I'm excited. Hit me.
And the funny thing is, like, one of my work buddies, Russell, I mentioned, I say I'm not alpha, I'm alpha adjacent is what I said to him. So we kind of laughed at that to say that come up with a new category, basically, because so what they said here though is alpha is like super confident, but they're the type of person that'll kind of like step over people to get what they want, right? So
bullies almost, really.
Yeah, and to that extent, and like super driven at the cost of others, I would say, is the way I like to describe it. And then but beta's like beta male is like a friendly person who's like a pushover though, just gets rolled over. And I mean, I'm neither of those.
Which, weren't you considering that at one point? You thought maybe? No, you never thought beta.
Never beta. I thought gamma. Okay, because gamma said that there was like it has traits from all the other males, and then there's empathy within the gamma. And I mean, I still think that sounds somewhat right, but then I read some other website that said like Gamma's like the fifth, and like they're I don't know.
What do you mean the fifth?
Or like the fourth in the pecking order, and then they don't do well with girls, which that's not.
So what do you want to be? If to do what do they
Like,
consider the alpha
I
male
don't.
does the best with the ladies?
I think this is just as cheesy as the signs. You know, I mean, I don't think there's. It's you're gonna find. I think someone come up with this theory, and everyone. Um, it's tough for me to say because I think definitely there's people like I've seen alpha males. I mean, it's not like there's no category of alpha male. I've seen it.
Yeah.
But I would. I don't think I fit into that. I definitely don't fit into beta male. Gamma male sounded good when I was reading it, but then on another site, it didn't sound very good as well.
So it's almost like you want to pick one that sounds good to you.
No, I mean like the one website, well, the one that I was reading, and I'm going to post maybe the link below. But it said something like they had self-awareness, they had empathy, they have traits from each of them. So I mean, it really looked good on the one. And then another website I looked at said that they were nerdier and didn't do well with ladies and stuff. And like
Can that be you?
I've done pretty okay in my time.
That could be me. I'll take it.
I don't think it's you either, but I mean, when I'm reading these, you're I think even tougher to categorize than I am. That's what I'm saying. It's even
because I'm sensitive, unconfident, but yet I might look kind of strong.
Yeah.
But I'm weak.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like that's I'm not going to say any of those, but like it doesn't. I don't see you fitting into many of these categories. And then Omega.
So maybe there's just. Sorry, go on.
Omega was like, from what I read, was like a nerd archetype, and like was heavy into video games. And
isn't it the opposite of the alpha?
Yeah, the Omega I think was.
Although the Omega is now what more men are.
I would probably bet that more men are Omega.
Like the millennials, or is there something after millennials? No, millennials, right?
Yeah, but no, that's those are generational things.
I know, but I thought they were more Omegas.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Millennials. Anyways, doesn't matter.
And then the Delta is like resentful people who are like self-sabotagers that have been kind of yeah. I mean, I don't know much about that one, but I can see basically someone who's been scorned, like a guy who's been scorned. So I could see that.
Yeah.
That style of man, I've definitely run across those guys. And then the Sigma, which they say is more, and I'd have to do a little bit more research because it might be the one but they're more cunning and calculated, and they're more in line with Alpha, but not don't have those traits. So
at the end of the day, we don't know what either of us are.
I think we're gonna have to do some more research and get back to.
I wish we had like 1 million listeners because we could do a poll.
All in due time, Brad. All in due time.
Real due time.
When we do bits like this, then maybe we can get sure.
I like that. That's planned.
So I think. Wait, I got to go this way actually, from the bottom.
You trimmed your beard, no?
No, I actually didn't trim it this time. I trimmed it last time.
I trimmed mine a bit.
In here, yeah. So the takeaway is like, I thought we were gamma males, but in doing some extra research, I don't think we are gamma males.
So in the end of the day, nothing. There's no conclusive evidence of anything.
It's a bit about nothing.
Which makes sense. At least it won't be debunked next episode.
Yeah, well, like I said,
like my last bit was debunked.
More, yeah, previous
with the book.
Posthumously destroyed bit.
Is that a new thing?
Well, you killed the bit after the bit was done.
100%. My new bit killed the old bit.
Yeah, it's like meta on top of meta.
But I didn't know when I did the original bit that I was going to come to a crossroads where I was going to have to kill that bit with my new theories.
Oh, I get it.
That's what reading does to you. You evolve. I evolved.
Did you, from reading the? How much did you read? Did you read right to there too, or did you skim through?
No, I've read all that I told you, but I'm not out of the introduction. And then I found out I don't have a bookmark.
Oh, I was just gonna say
So-
bookmark.
So what I'm using is Emmett one day did exercises, and so he asked me how to spell.
Oh, I
something.
remember that.
Yeah, so that's super fun, right? Jumping jacks, running, sit up, squat, touch. Emmett's 4 for people that don't know.
I said Eppy,
That's
but I
super
remember
cute.
you sent me a little video of him doing the exercises.
Yeah, it's super fun. I gotta find that video. I forgot I had.
Yeah, that's classic.
All right, what do you want to transition to? Do you want to lead us again? You're kind of the lead. I'm basically, well, I've figured out, this isn't DS bullying me into anything, but I figure out he's the Johnny Carson and I'm the Ed McMahon. I'm more of a sidekick.
Oh,
I'm not as much a DS is a natural leader.
There's only 2 of us, so there's none of that. But like it's a back and forth.
But I'm okay in that role, is what I'm saying.
That's fair, but it's not the perfect analogy because we're not a talk show for one.
No, we're definitely not a talk
Not yet.
show.
Not yet.
Yes.
Stay tuned.
All right, what do you want to talk about?
Well, your topic's up next because I did the gamma.
I didn't know we were doing it back and forth. I haven't really planned anything. I did want to talk about I don't even know if this is new news because again, I'm so not on social media, but you sent me the thing on Drake, which is a crazy story.
Oh, yeah.
So why don't you tell it because you know it better?
Well, the story is Drake. Well, he had some sexual interactions with a fine young lady. Apparently, I assume she was fine. Maybe.
Well, I wouldn't say she's fine from what she's done.
That's fair. I mean, more like fine looking, but I
Okay.
don't. I assume she's fine looking, but maybe not. And that's maybe not even relevant. Let's not get in the weeds.
And you might not even know. Anyways,
And-
that's not the point of the story.
What's good looking to one person is not good looking to others.
100%.
That's why there's 32
And-
flavors of ice cream. There's only 32 flavors of ice cream, right? 31.
There's way more than that now. That was
I know,
Baskin
that's
Robbins
the
thing
joke.
back in the day. That's like the most ridiculous thing. There's like probably
That's part
like
of the joke.
there's probably like 1,000 flavors of ice cream.
There's like a billion. There's like a billion different flavors of ice cream now. Maybe.
Okay, well tell the story. Let's tell the story. Do you want to tell the story?
Okay, so then sexual relationships, yada yada. They finished their business, and apparently, Drake, being a responsible man, or person, had a condom on, and he went into the bathroom, and I guess he poured some. Well, I guess there's a story better.
Tabasco.
Yeah, people know it by now. He poured Tabasco sauce into the condom, and then
So to kill the sperm.
to kill the sperm because he must have already known this. From my understanding, is maybe he got this kind of advice from his NBA friends.
Well, it's also because it happened to him the last time. Long story short, she tried to put the semen back in her
Right.
so that she could get pregnant with him. She got burned or whatever, felt the heat of the hot sauce, and then she's suing him for that, which is the most ridiculous thing
Yeah, crazy.
ever. So she basically she was in it to make the money. Anyways, his current child is through a woman that he only had one interaction with, I believe.
Oh, I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, so I think it's lesson learned is what he said. She probably did the same thing as his mindset. I'm not accusing anyone. I don't know any of the stories. So
Yeah, I thought I heard that it was his NBA friends because, the NBA.
because it happens a lot to them.
Yeah, like that's.
Well, Andre Drummond had, I might be wrong again. This is all just me going off the cuff here. So Andre Drummond, I swear, had 2 kids in the same month from 2 different women.
Really, the same month.
That's pretty crazy, no? I could be wrong. People check
Not
on
for
that.
them.
but
The
I'm pretty sure
NBA,
it's-
they're probably going around having, lots of sex with lots of different girls at different times.
Yeah. So, anyways, the story's crazy that the part of the story to me, I don't think it's crazy that he did what he did with the Tabasco sauce. I think it's crazy that I think the crazy part of the story is that she's suing him
He's trying to sue.
because of it. I don't even know what the lawsuit would be, but I have kind of a crazy story to play off it. Not even a big story. Just when I was in Windsor back in the day, that's where I went to University U of Windsor. A bunch of us were in a cab one night after the bar, but we were like ghetto students. So we were like at the 7-Eleven, we're going to get dropped at the 7-Eleven, then we're all going to bail. So but our one friend was kind of feeling like drunk. So he got, anyways, one of our friends stopped to throw up. We all climbed fences and got out of there. the cab driver took the wallet of our one friend that got caught, but he had no money in it, so he took his wallet. So we got back to resident, and then one of our buddies called the cops on the cab driver for stealing the wallet. So the cop shows up. The cop shows up, and he's like, "So what you're telling me is you're calling me about a stolen wallet from an incident where you guys took off on a cab and we're going to pay the fare." So he literally said, "It's not my problem."
Yeah, 100%.
I don't even know how the story ends. That's all I remember of it. But the cop said, "Well, I'm not going to help you."
Yeah.
Why would he help?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the story.
No, that's that's good. Yeah, so I same thing. I think it's nuts that but that's America anyways. They'll sue you for looking
Can we say with semi-social media with again, these are all reels and stuff DS sends me. Can you tell I love the Shaq one you sent of him going on Tinder.
Oh, I don't even remember what happened on that one. Go ahead.
Or maybe I sent to you. No, it's just a neat story. Shaq was on Jimmy Kimmel talking about how he went on Tinder, but no girls believed that he was on Tinder. So he was hitting up this one girl, and she's like, "There's no way this is Shaq." He's like, "I swear to God, I'm Shaq. It's me, Shaq." Anyways, long story short, they're going back and forth. He's like, "Can I just take you for a Starbucks?" And she totally shut him down. So his story was how he deleted his account because no one ever believed he was Shaq. Pardon?
Yeah, no one even believed it was Shaq.
Yeah, no one believed him, so he just deleted the account. But the funny thing is, at the very end, he slipped in a hard. She was hot too, but I love that he slipped that in there. So the whole story's over, but then at the end, he slipped in a "she was hot too" kind of thing.
That's why he was trying to pursue it. That's funny. And my point of sending it to you was like, if Tinder's good enough for Shaq, you can slip on the Tinder yourself there too.
I would only do anything online if someone managed my account.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that shakes out.
Yeah. What do you got?
Well, we could do the jobs list now.
Sure.
Okay, so this week's episode, I'm going into the labor side of things. Right. So,
okay. So are we going to talk some sheet metal, maybe?
Yeah, there's going to be some sheet metal. Yes. Starting though with Toyota. I worked at the Toyota Motor Factory company.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah,
are you given ages with these timelines or no ages?
I couldn't.
You wouldn't even know.
I don't think I could possibly. It's taking all my might to try and think. Well, not really, because I've got way more left. Like, I'll tell you at some point where it's going to get difficult to actually.
So you thought this was going to be like a bunch of bits, but now you're already thinking you're worried about running out of.
I'm going to run out eventually, but it's going to be a long time. It's going to be disgusting. Like you'll see, it's kind of funny in this part. So, Toyota was the funny one little funny stories about Toyota is I actually was younger, so I don't know what age back. It was college time because it was a college contract. We did acid a couple of days before going into work, right? And I actually almost got lost. Like I almost didn't come back from this acid trip. I was spinning out of control.
Oh, like it was a bad trip.
Yeah, it was a very bad trip, and then I had to go to work like the next day. I think we did it the night before, and I had a 4 o'clock.
Don't do drugs.
Yeah, don't do drugs, kids.
Okay, go on. Sorry.
Good show. But I did acid, and I think I doubled up over the weekend, which is also not advisable. So I don't know if you know what that is. You do 1 and then you do 2 the next night or something like that. Anyhow, hit it pretty hard. And then by the time I got to working at Toyota, my depth perception was still off. Where's my So like I had to grab bolts because I was doing the front bumper, and I couldn't grab the bolts because the bolts were like further down from where my grab was. I was like, oh.
Yeah, it was literally that bad, eh?
Oh yeah, I had to like hammer my arm into the bolts to grab them because I could not do that. And then
what's good?
Go ahead.
Sorry, go on. I was just gonna say it's good you weren't so high that you didn't even have the presence of mind to figure out what you were supposed to do to make it work.
It was a bit nuts, and like funny is during the breaks you get the little break to eat lunch or you have your have your 15-minute break, right? Because it's very timed. When you're working at Toyota, you have to work, the line's going, you do your bit, and then you get sectioned off times and the line stops, right? Like, so everyone that's working there gets 15 minutes off at the exact same time. Everyone gets half the hour lunch at the same time, right? Because the line stops.
Yeah.
And so on this stretch, I had to go to, like, they had these big industrial fans that just blow the air, right? And I was like sitting in one of the investors, like my lunch break and my things. I was just like, just getting through the day. It was one of the craziest days just to get through, because I was like reeling from, like, I wasn't. I mean, you've done ecstasy before. You know how you come down and you're still kind of groggy and a mess, right? So it's like, this was that to a degree.
That's a bold statement there. How was the follow-up day?
Fine.
Were you fine?
The next time,
like, it just took one day, eh?
Well, this was
2 days.
This was the one day after, yes.
Yeah.
Second day. And I find that that's the takeaway for the kids at home, is like, if you do drugs and it's starting to play with your mind, just calm yourself down, and this too shall pass. You'll get through it. You know what I mean?
I like that line.
Yeah, I know. I like that from the Tommy Hanks, right? I think that's a good one.
Yeah.
And then
so what else you got? What are you gonna hit us with?
Sheet metal's the one there too. I don't have much of a story, but one of my friends did sheet metal, and I helped working in the sheet metal industry on that one. But
doesn't he still do sheet metal?
He does, yeah. But that dovetails to roofing. So I did this roofing where it was industrial roofing. So think of schools and malls,
big buildings,
like the outside malls, but not a mall. Well, even a mall would be, but like those flat roofs, basically, right? So I worked.
Be hot up there, no?
Yeah, like I have a friend that owns a company who does roofing, so he was kind enough to put me on for working in that capacity for a while, and it didn't last long. So what happened was, you have these big rolls; they're huge, right? So you have to carry them on your shoulder, and like they're huge. So
what's it, rolls of like tile?
It's like asphalt almost. Like one side's asphalt, and like I don't know, they roll them out and they heat the bottom, and it just kind of sticks. I barely know the process, but that's my understanding.
Barely know the process.
On account of I didn't stay there long, and that's part of the story. So anyhow, we're up on this big, think of a big, Walmart roof, let's say, for instance, right? Just a big ass roof. And we're set to do this one section the one day, and then, whatever the next day. Well, the boss was just giving me busy work. He's like, take those rolls and put those rolls over here, right? So I picked up all these rolls and moved them over here. Meanwhile, I noticed the next day we didn't do the roof where he said, and then he had me move them like back, basically, right? So I was smart enough to realize, like, this was just busy work. He's literally just getting me.
He was just trying to keep you busy.
Yeah, just pick up the roll, move it over to the other side. Like I'm sure there's lots of people that worked at the job like that for a long period of time. Or
why'd they even want you there?
Well, this was a different, like, he was throwing me, right? Like, basically, I get my take or understanding of it would be, my friend got me the job. This guy was the guy who runs the roof crew, and he, I couldn't do anything for him. So it's like, I'm just going to make him do this until he can, eventually he'll figure it out.
I got you. You were, to put it politely, you were useless because you had no skills.
Yeah, well, like anyone would be starting.
You could do grunt labor though.
Yeah, like
which he gave you grunt labor, but pointless grunt labor.
Yeah, exactly, right. So, so that took me like less than a week. Like, I think I did 2 or 3 days, and the funny thing is, my friend would kind of pick me up in the mornings and go like, "Hey, you just pick me up on the way to the job." And I said, "Hey, Jay, when you go to work tomorrow, don't come get me. Don't pick me up." So that's
Just leave me out. Just leave me out.
that's pretty much how I quit. I just said, yeah, just don't come get me. Like, don't. And he could like, I don't know. I was younger too, right? So it was kind of weird to say. And he had kind of given me the job, so it was awkward. But I was trying to be as,
and was cool with it, wasn't
oh,
he?
he like, well, it's a great story now. He like obviously.
And it doesn't hurt. It never hurt the friendship. You guys are best buds all these years later.
Oh yeah, and that's the funny part is like we have that story now that we talk about all the time. Every year we go golfing down in at Forest there in near Sarnia. We always have the story like that to tell. But so that's my 3 for this week. And as
make sure to what?
And the little teaser for next week, I'm going to bring up 3 jobs that I only worked for one day. 3 different
1-day jobs.
3 different jobs that I worked just one day. Have you had a job? Have you had a job that you worked just one day?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I'll throw one into the mix.
Well, I'll just throw. Well, do you know it right now? Like, what's a job that you just worked one day and never?
I feel like when I was super young, I worked at the Victorian Inn. It was a hotel in Stratford at the time. It's not there anymore. And I got a job. They hired me. They said bartending at events, but you'll be doing other things too. And I just know I washed a lot of dishes, and I just never, I never came, like I didn't bartend at all. I just never went back again. I didn't ask for a paycheck. I didn't anything. I just worked a shift, and that was it.
Oh yeah, I didn't get a paycheck from any of these one-day jobs that are coming up.
Yeah. I don't think I really added much value to the position either.
No, well, one day you never do. You never do.
No, you never.
Comes in guns a blazing the one day. It's like savant.
They're never like that. DS guy really lit it up that one day. It was
well, that's what I was laughing at with you earlier. You think I came in just being like Mr. Roofer, going like, "Okay, boys, I'm taking over. I'm doing the torching today. Step back. You go move those rolls over here."
20 years later, they're still talking about that hot shot that came in and lit it up, and then just
one day. We've never done so much roofing in one day. Like Jerry Seinfeld with the mail when he delivered mail. He might have been the only guy that did light it up for one day, where he did more mail than anyone else ever had.
Didn't that worry Newman?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Newman had to come to him and say, "You can't do this. No one's made it on the 50."
Because he was taking away their lap of luxury, right?
Yeah. No one's actually delivered more than 50% of mail to anyone ever. So so then you got anything else on your little docket there? Or?
Well, I could do anything, but do you want to talk about the next episode that you wanted to get into an episode, didn't you?
I don't know if we'll flush it out for next one. I thought, you know what I mean?
Like, okay, you don't want to talk our show.
Again, so
today.
Also just so everyone knows, we have this. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, which please go watch the previous episodes of the Gambling Dads podcast. We are working on developing a TV show, kind of what I believe the podcast is all about. Brad has.
No, I'm back on the wagon. I've realized that we should be supporting each other, and I think I was a little crusty last episode. I think that I'm apologizing. This is a on-air apology.
Well, you don't have to apologize, but I know.
I just think I could have been more supportive.
No, I think you're right, though. I think I was looking at I think what we learned from the last episode.
We're evolving, right?
For sure. I hope so.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off. Go on.
No, that's good. And well, I think we don't want the whole podcast to be just about that, because I don't think anyone's going to listen to all. I don't think anyone's going to listen to all episodes just about self-help or just about my job debacles, or
especially my self-help,
or just about
and my advice. Are you kidding? That's garbage.
Hey, it's okay. Don't kill yourself here. Or our soon-to-be best TV show of all time TV show. But
I think it's great.
Little pockets of all of those.
I think it's great, but I will admit I'm getting nervous about content for it. We got to get working.
No, I've got some stuff, but I mean, I
know you do, but we do have to get working. We do have to get working on it, right?
I mean, we can touch on if we're struggling for things to find and talk about. I can go into it.
I'm planning something here. How about this?
What drinks the water? What's the water?
3 waters. Badger beer, 1977, the oldest beer in England.
Nice.
Anyways, I just teed up a bunch of waters. I thought it looked kind of nice.
Why'd you need 3 waters?
I'm already out of one because I just want to prepare. I'm already nervous.
I moved on from Farm Boy because Farm Boy didn't take our sponsorship offer.
So who are you on to now? Nestea? What is it?
It's called Aha. I can see it. There you go.
Because I can't see because it always disappears on you.
Tiny. I know.
Are you on the south side of the beach today? Are you on a different part of the beach?
Oh, look, you want to see me. I know you want to lay me. But,
we're going to say that every episode. Is that a new beach? Is that the same beach or a new beach?
Same beach.
Same beach.
Life is
the wind beach. looks like the wind shifted.
That's a beach.
No?
It's doing something.
Anyways,
whoa.
You didn't like my joke about the wind shifting.
I don't know what that is.
I wanted to talk about first of all, I am nervous about running out of waters. It's better to have too many. Okay, we talk a lot of pizza because you love pizza, and I haven't hyped how much you love pizza. But I want to talk about Hawaiian pizza. Do you like, first of all, I'm going to take the lead in this story because I know once I say pizza, you just want to take the story over.
More so, check out. Once you said pizza, I started thinking about pizza, and I literally just got pizza delivered. Not pizza like an individual pizza. Yeah. I just got this new jazz hands. I'm doing some weird thing there.
So you're taking over the story.
No, but it's because you. Let me just take my little part.
Well, this is what we want interaction. It's
no. But so I just ordered like 8 pizzas that come like someone cooks them and then they're like fresh sealed.
And are they frozen then, right?
Yeah, I haven't even seen them yet, but I know they've been delivered and they're like, I think they're frozen, refrozen. Yeah, they're like properly made pizzas. They're not just like.
I know, and sealed. I know what you mean, like a gourmet pizza almost.
Yeah, exactly, gourmet.
But don't hype them until you have them. You might not like them. It's like the sex. It's like the sex.
True, but
you know what I mean. You don't want to hype that you're really into someone
them because I do have them, just like I would if I did have sex. Anyways, go on.
Oh my goodness, is this almost a sob story?
No, maybe.
Any particular wife out there that's listening to this?
No.
Anyways, so here's the scoop. Hawaiian pizza.
Yes.
So it's not really a debate about liking it or not. I hate Hawaiian pizza because I hate pineapple, but that's not the debate. But I'll ask you if you like it or not first.
Love it. Love pineapple.
Okay, this is great then, because I can talk to you as a guy that doesn't like Hawaiian pizza.
No, I do love it.
And maybe I can open your eyes to something.
You can open my eyes to something.
Yeah, I want to open your eyes to
okay.
Us people that don't like Hawaiian pizzas. I want to open your eyes to something that happens to us on occasion that we don't appreciate. And maybe if you've never really noticed it, then maybe you can stop doing it if you've been one of the people that have done it before as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I know where you're going, but go ahead.
Group setting. Everyone, what do you want on your pizza? Maybe 3 people want Hawaiian pizza. So we're getting a Hawaiian pizza. And we're getting a bunch of other pizzas, right? Pizzas come. The people with getting the Hawaiian pizza, all of a sudden they want to freaking dabble in the other pizzas. If you don't like Hawaiian pizza, you can't leave us with Hawaiian pizzas. So if you're committed to the Hawaiian pizza, it's got to be known you're committed to that pizza, and you're not going to dip into the pizza of the people that don't like the Hawaiian pizza, because it's ridiculous, because I can't stand pineapple. It's the one thing that is left on a pizza that you can pick it all off. First of all, you always find a hidden piece of pineapple. The way that it's tucked under, it's usually tucked 100%. Under some ham, 100%. Which is bullshit. And the taste lingers. So even if you don't get a pizza, if you get all the pineapple off, you're still going to taste the pineapple.
Delicious pineapple.
But you understand where I'm coming from?
I understand your logic and I get where you're coming, but I also would argue the same thing could be with someone who likes anchovies. I don't like anchovies. I don't think the person who gets anchovies.
You can use the theory on
stay with anchovies. You can have anchovies and you can have just a pepperoni pizza. Like, I don't think just because.
But we have to buy accordingly. You know what I mean? Like,
I would say
as a group of.
I would say it starts with how much pizza are we talking about here?
Well, this is the thing. With a group of friends as adults now, we always will overbuy pizza. So it's not an issue. But if you're in like a work environment in an office and you're all getting 3 pieces, you know what I mean? That's where it really comes into
yes,
play.
100% I agree with you.
Yeah, because we're always going to have leftover pizza because we're never going to order enough pizza, not enough pizza because we're grown adults. We can afford to order pizza. But in the office
I
setting,
never have a little amount of pizza or a little amount of ketchup. Weird thing.
I love ketchup.
A peeve of mine is to like not have enough ketchup for your fries or something.
Oh my goodness, I hate running out of ketchup. I can't stand running out of ketchup.
Me too. See, pet peeve. Yeah, I would agree that if there's a small amount of pizzas and you've asked for Hawaiian, then you should not be going to other sides. But if there's a ton of pizza, you get Hawaiian, you get
ton of pizza, you do what you want. The theory is, or the statement is based on, if you didn't order Hawaiian, you should be able to get your full fill of whatever isn't Hawaiian. And if you're still hungry, you shouldn't have to be dabbling in the Hawaiian because someone in the Hawaiian has dipped their fingies in a different pool.
But that's almost the trick with many. You're polarizing our audience now with women who order something from a meal and then they always want to try your meal, even though, you know what I mean? You go out to a restaurant.
Yeah.
They order.
They want to get.
I don't know.
Well,
something with baba ganoush or something like that.
You're right, and if they have something that you don't like too, right?
Yeah, something I could never eat.
I'm so glad we're talking about this because I've got a couple things to say that I obviously didn't have planned. 2 things with that: desserts in restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
First thing, if someone asks, if you say you're getting a dessert, and I talk about this with Shimmy all the time. If someone says, if you say I'm going to get dessert and they say they don't want to get dessert, they say they're going to have a couple bites of yours. Here's what's happening.
Yeah, I agree.
We're ordering 1 extra dessert. And if there's some dessert left over, that's fine. But I'm not going to not get a full dessert because you don't want any dessert. And then I don't get my full fill of dessert. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if I order some sundae and you want in on it, well, I want to get 2 sundaes. Does that make sense?
Oh, I agree 100%.
And another interesting thing in the service industry, you might notice, if a guy server brings dessert versus a girl server that brings dessert, when the guy brings it, whoever he ordered it, he brings 1 fork or spoon. But that's a guy server. But if a girl server brings the dessert and there's 4 people at the table, they're bringing out 4 spoons or forks with the dessert. But the guy will only bring out 1. Isn't that it? Unless they say unless they say we're sharing the dessert. Try it when you go to restaurants. If you don't say you're sharing dessert once they let us in restaurants, you'll notice guy servers will bring a spoon or a fork per dessert, whereas a woman server will bring however many heads are at the table. That's how many forks or spoons are coming out.
And I bet even sharing in general is up. Well, maybe now it's down again because of COVID, but like, in general, people share their dinners a lot more than when I was clanging and banging in the service industry because it wasn't really.
I love going tapas style, like just ordering a bunch of mains and sharing the mains. Like I don't.
If you're at a tapas place.
Yeah. Well, I worked at a tapas place for years, but I mean, even if I'm at the keg and have a guest with me, and like Talia will want salmon, but she doesn't want a whole salmon. She wants some steak too. So I'll get a steak. She'll get a salmon. We'll split it.
Oh yeah. We'll split both, you know? If I go to, when I go for lunches with my mom or my sister, I kind of guide them to what they're looking for because I know I'm going to get half of the sandwich.
Because you know you're going to get in on it, right?
I don't think you want the smoked meat this time, Ma. You should try the chicken club sandwich because I know I'm getting half of it. You know what I mean? Anyhow, that's my evil, I guess, which goes back.
That was a nice little spin-off, no?
If you think so.
The conversation. Yeah. I do think so.
Yeah.
I need reassurance, I think. What are you, do you have something to throw at us?
Well, we did promise some impressions.
Do you want to just go to the real impression?
Yeah, like as an actual, well, we might as well, right?
Oh, now you're committed. See, that's so much pressure. I thought if it just came up organically,
but it didn't come up organically last Eppy, and I said
I know I've been trying to work it in there. Okay, you wanted to.
Yeah, so
I really,
in general, I do a
I
couple.
hope people love them as much as I love them. That's for sure.
We'll
Because
see.
I love them.
I'm gonna try and do some links below to the impressions, and I don't do a ton, so it's not crazy. But
Like 2.
Brad's go-to, and Pekka even kind of said it before. It's like my impression might be better than the original.
That's my go-to. I have 2 impressions that you do that I like them better than the person that did them. One is John Candy and Vacation.
Whoa.
Oh, you could have went right into it there. You did the
No,
most.
but I don't want you to. No.
What? How are you going to put up the clips? You're going to put up the clips first?
No, the clips will be down below afterwards. But I don't want you to tell them what the clip is yet.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to tee it up, maybe.
No, sorry.
I thought I was doing my job. Sorry, I forgot.
No, that's okay. You can.
I know I'm the Ed McMahon. I'm not allowed to tee shit up, right?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I'm kidding.
I'm saying
okay,
that.
Okay, you do it how you're going to do it. I'm totally cool with that.
Like, I'll do 2 of off the wall ones, and then you tell me what your 2 favorite ones are.
So you're going to hit me with 2, and I'm going to pick the favorite, not knowing what the clip is?
No, I think what I'm going to do is just 2 stupid ones to begin with that you maybe know or know. Well, you definitely know the one, anyways. And then you tell me what the 2 that you were thinking about now was, anyways. Just be 4.
Okay, so then I can request 2. Is that what you're saying?
There you go.
So you're hitting me with 2 that I've never heard before.
Well, you've heard one, and one of them's easy. It's like, what you talking about, Willis? Right? And then we
know that one.
And I'm not necessarily the best at that, but like.
Oh, I like that one. So you already hit one. See, you caught me, but you snuck it in there.
There we go.
And people got to go online and watch montages.
Well, I'm gonna clip the link down below.
Oh my goodness, it's unbelievable.
So that's the funny part. Is like, what you talk about, Dad? What you talk about, Kimberly? And then remember, he throws out the. What you talking about?
What you talking about, Santa?
Yeah.
Did you say Santa with me?
Yeah, the Santa.
Did we? But here's the thing. So Kimberly's Arnold. He's Jackson, but then he gets adopted, so he turns to Drummond, but he's originally Jackson.
It's a stepsister.
So Kimberly's a sister for all the younger folk that are listening.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just think it's crazy that in the montage of what you talk about, he only hit Kimberly once or twice, maybe. She got off like scot-free. She's a sister. She's there always. And she was like the older sister. He could have hit her with a ton of Whatchas. In all the seasons it was on, which might not even be many, but it feels like it was on forever. It was probably like 3 seasons.
Well, I bet it was 5, but maybe not.
Probably 5. No, 3 seasons low. Anyways, because think of how young they were. And then he got older when they had Sam and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, long story short, I swear there were only 2 What You Talking About Kimberly's ever.
But I don't think that Kimberly was a big part of the show. I guess she was in there, but
she'd always scoot in and out. You're right. I don't think she played a huge role though. I think it was more him and Willis. Willis. I still think we hype how cute Arnold was when he was young, but Willis was super cute, and he gets no fanfare for how cute he was.
And then he looks not so good after.
He dates Janet Jackson in it, right?
Oh yeah, a young Janet Jackson.
Yeah, I can't remember her name in it.
Where's Janet Jackson? I haven't heard from her in a long time.
I don't know. I think she had a kid at 50, no?
She just disappear after that Super Bowl debacle? Like, honestly, after that, I don't.
That was like 20 years ago now.
But what's happening?
Not 20. But if we look back at that Super Bowl, think of how long ago that thing would be now. Doesn't it seem kind of like yesterday?
And where has Janet Jackson been?
I don't know. Yeah. See that, remember how I was getting on the D12 train lately? Eminem's band?
Oh, yeah.
They do the one spin-off of it where he pulls the shirt off, like at the Super Bowl. Eminem on the bigger guy.
Oh, does he? Okay, yeah.
They do a spin on it anyways.
The wardrobe malfunction?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, you want to go your other?
Okay, number 2. This one, I don't know if you know. It's like, it's Will Ferrell in Wedding Crashers when he does a guy died in a hang gliding accident. What an idiot! You know that one?
That's great impression.
I don't know if you. Yeah, so that one I'll
right before he calls for the meatloaf.
Me and Perrin always mention that when he loves it. Yeah, about meatloaf. But like, I love that. That's one of my favorite clips in any movie. Just when he did that. Guy died in a.
Do you want to do it again?
Guy died in a hang gliding accident. What an idiot! That's great. And then okay, now you could do your 2.
Well, I'm picking them for you. I'm not doing them.
You tell me where the two favorites are there, and I'll see if those are the two favorites that I've come up with.
My one's a two-parter, so I'll do it second.
Yeah, that's fair. That's which I thought.
I can do the second. So my first for you, which is, it's short, but it might be my favorite. The other two I love. I love the follow. Anyways, Clubber Lang.
Yes.
And Rocky.
Good. Hey, I should show the people, eh? Clubber Lang, that's what I have.
Yeah.
Like
oh yeah, you should have written it down first.
I did.
So when I guessed it.
And we.
Well, I think I already gave away the other one. So okay, you can do it.
Not really. No, I don't think anyone watching knows.
You got to be ready for this one though, because this one comes so quick. It starts and finishes before it's anything really.
Not really, because I have a little dovetail talk with it too, right? So.
Oh, you've added to it?
Well, no, just a little story with it, right? Because we're in this pool that we do sports gambling, but it's just a hockey pool, so it's a fantasy draft pool, and we've got these guys that are in the leads. The person is in the lead, but he's got so many games played. Some people aren't going to understand this, John, but
here's a scoop. Can I describe it? It's almost ruining. No one's going to get it.
That's what I'm saying.
One guy's in the lead, but he's overplayed all his players, stacked them in so that he's in the lead, but he's played like an exponentially
more games.
Yes, that's noticeably more games. So he's not the real champion. He's the
paper champion, right? So we go. So that and that person, by the way, is a little guy we like to call Ken Pagan.
Of throwing the beer on the.
Yeah, the same Ken Pagan who threw a beer at the Blue Jays game. He worked in the same.
He got into a bit of hot water.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny that he's in the lead right now, which makes us.
Can't believe you gave him a shout out.
Yeah, well, there you go. I was gonna.
Okay, are you gonna do it?
I was gonna lean in more to that, but I think we'll stay away from it. But in general, what I said to Brad one time is these guys are paper champions, and Brad said, "What are you talking about, paper champions?"
Okay, and can I cut off for a second? But you didn't know this clip existed, or do you already know it existed when you told me they were paper champions?
This is where it comes from.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I shouldn't. I mean, I came up with paper champion because of that.
There's a lot of hype for 2 words.
So in Rocky, Mr. T, Clubber Lang, everyone kind of remembers that. Rocky 3.
Was it 3? I thought 3 was Drago.
No, 4 is Drago.
Are you sure it wasn't 2?
100%.
Okay, then I'm not going to question it. I believe you.
Yeah.
Okay.
100% it's 3. I went to when I was like 13 years old to watch it. But anyways, in that movie, same type of thing. Rocky was ducking champion, so he was fighting like junky people. So he wasn't fighting.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, gotcha. So he wasn't fighting.
He was avoiding Clubber Lang.
Lang and fighting like lesser talented people. So Clubber Lang said to him, they were fighting in the hallway, and Clubber Lang said, "Would you say paper champion?"
That is fantastic.
There you go.
If I hit that impression like that, I would never do it again. That's how good it was. That's like a mic drop.
It's pretty good.
No, it's unbelievably good. I love it.
Once they see it, the clip down below. Just click the link down below.
Do you know how to even do that?
Yeah, you're just gonna copy a link and put it down below. That's easy.
Well, that part's playing.
No, like so. After someone listens to this, they'll be able to look down below and just click on the link and watch these 3 different things or whatever, right?
Okay. Can I give you the other then?
Yes.
2-part.
It's 2 parts.
I don't even think
one. I'm not.
What's his name? Security guard.
Yeah.
John Candy in Vacation. First, when they come in, and he denies them going into the amusement park because the park's closed.
Can we do it right away?
Spoiler alert. And second, they hold a starter. Is it a starter pistol? Clark has.
Yeah.
Clark, Chevy Chase has a starter pistol, holds him up, forces him into the amusement park. But then John Candy goes on all the rides with them, doesn't he? Because he's at gunpoint,
they force
right?
him to go on the rides, yeah.
So and then it's him describing to Wally, the owner, about it.
Yeah,
Because they went on this
Disney
vacation,
had
the movie, they went on vacation and they get to Wally World, their destination, and it's closed for renovations or whatever, right?
Which also is a nice spoiler is when he actually punches the moose at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
So he punches the moose, which is very funny too.
Chevy Chase does that, doesn't he?
Yeah, basically from when, like, the funny part to me about that movie is, it's funny throughout, but the ending when they get to the park is like so awesome. Like straight from when they park the car and they're doing that running thing when they're trying to get there. And he actually says, little bonus one. He goes, first one's here, because there's nobody in the park.
Oh yeah, in the parking lot. But don't they park at the back?
Yeah, which is just
they park at the back because they want the early exit.
Genius. It's genius.
Okay.
But the way he says first one's here, if you watch it too, I'll link that one below too. It's like
it's like in European.
First one's here.
So fun. It's like when he keeps driving by Big Ben and the European and he keeps saying Big Ben Parliament.
Yeah.
But then they can't get out of the loop.
That's in the European one, yeah. And then they get to the front and the moose tells him that he can't go there. So then he goes in, and actually you gotta listen for this too, Bill. It's like there's some bumbly music that's played.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that.
No, I don't even remember.
Yeah, so you'll be able to click the link below too, Bill. But anyway,
I'm gonna.
There's like bum ba ba dum ba dum ba da dum ba, like dum,
and just
like of like cheeseball music.
And before you get to it, does the moose tell him when he does get told by the moose that the park's closed?
Yeah, and he punches
That's
him
why he punches it, right?
Yeah. Because and I could even maybe do a little bit of that one. But so, like, he comes out and goes, "Sorry, folks, park's closed. Moose up front should have told you."
It's great.
Now, and then actually the moose.
That's John Candy saying it, or is that the moose saying it?
That was John Candy. Then earlier the moose is more like, "Sorry, folks, park's closed." And then he talks. He doesn't say that.
I didn't know you had that in your repertoire.
Well, I'm freewheeling now.
That's amazing. You can't even do that ever again. It's so good.
That's totally by memory. I don't even know if that's
I can't believe you've seen the movie that much.
Oh, I love that movie. It's great.
And then they hold them up with the starter.
So then I keep thinking Walt Disney, but it's not. It's Wally World, like you said. So Wally catches them, and Wally comes to the park because they've broken in, basically, right? So Wally's been alerted. There's all these security guards, and the security guards come up, and Wally's trying to figure out what happened. He's like, what's happened there? And John Kennedy's like, "Oh, hi, Mr. Wally. I was the guy with them, but normally I go on the rides and have trouble, but not this time. I'm way up here, we're way down here. I love it." And it makes Wally go like, "Enough!" Like so.
But doesn't he end up convincing Wally that it's okay? Like he gets him out of trouble, doesn't he?
Well, I think he, like, him saying that kind of made it seem like there was less of a, he was at gunpoint, but he's not really at gunpoint when he's like, "Oh, I had a really good time and I went up and down." You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So.
Oh, that's great. I'm most impressed by all those impressions of the moose out front impression.
Well,
that's strictly memory.
That was a la carte, yeah, a la carte.
It's amazing.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I don't remember if it was any good or not.
It was great. I can't wait to replay these clips tonight.
Which we do, or pat our ego a bit to rewatch it again.
If anything, they all upstaged the moose out front should have told you of John Candy doing it, and that was originally my favorite of your impressions.
And yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I'm not saying it was bad. It was
what you're
spot
saying
on. It's
is,
amazing.
For years I've been going around saying, "Sorry, folks, park's closed. Moose up front should have told you." And Bill loved it. I always loved it.
I still love it.
You still laugh every time I say it.
Every time.
But what you're saying is now you like the moose maybe even better.
The moose is unreal. Maybe because it's new to me too. You know what I'm saying? It could be because it's new to me. But I absolutely love it. That's sincere from my heart.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
To me, we're either into the gambling part or we can
Oh.
go into the golf marshals.
Can we go a couple other things? I got a
Sure.
couple.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Well,
trying to
you
think.
did nothing.
No, I got a couple. I got a couple things actually.
No, that's
I wanted
good. I've been
to.
asking you 3 times. I say, what do you got? And you said nothing.
No, and so I do have some stuff. Because we're dads, it'd be nice every now and again to mention our kids. So M's 4. This is kind of a segue into just how he's just a wily little guy. Anyways, he drew this picture of Sonic the Hedgehog that I'm super impressed with. So I want to show it for people that are watching and not listening. This is a nothing story. It's just a proud dad moment.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing.
Is that not pretty bang on?
But he didn't draw that himself.
He freestyled this.
What?
I promise to God, he freestyled this. I was up in the washroom. I came downstairs. He was looking at a picture on my phone and drawing this.
That's incredible.
That's incredible, no?
Unbelievable.
And this was like, I'm getting a frame for it. That's why I brought out. This was like 3 months ago. Like he was barely 4.
That is wild. Yeah, that's amazing. Good. He's gonna be
I think that's wild, no?
artiste.
Yeah, that's good. Anyways, one of the conversations I had with him yesterday, and the kid is so sweet. He asked me whenever he's not going to be here. He asked me if I'll sleep in his bed when he's gone. So I'll think of him, which is crazy because I'm going to be thinking of him like a maniac. But so, do you remember the commercial? I want to say 83, and I'm saying it because I looked and it was 83, but I might have forgot, so it might have been 84, 82. Do you remember the commercial for Alpha Getti with the Alpha Getti Gobbler?
Was it Calgon Take Me Away? Calgon Take Me Away.
No, it's literally. So you don't know the commercial?
I think so. The Alpha Getti Gobbler. I mean, that rings a bell, but I don't remember.
Okay, I could almost do my impersonation. Anyways, there's this. It's a 32-second commercial. It's an Alpha Getti Gobbler. It's like a adult-sized puppet that comes in. There's 2 kids eating Alpha Getti.
Now I got to try that on the internet to put the link below.
Yeah, we'll put it on.
Yeah.
And I don't do imitations, or I can do it. Oh, Alpha Getti. Oh, Alpha Getti. That's how he talks, kind of. That's my impersonation, which good. Is. I tried to hit you while you weren't looking, so you wouldn't really notice. So there's no pressure. Anyways, it's funny because there's these 2 kids. They're both under 5, probably, eating Alpha Getti in a bowl. Well, this guy comes in. He's clearly the Alpha Getti Gobbler. He's got.
Wait, so Alpha Getti was like that little tomato
basically
soup.
Like pasta with letters.
Yeah, like tomato. Yeah. Okay, just make it
with tomato sauce. They even mentioned the tomato sauce. Anyways, he's basically got a bunch of like pasta type, like spaghetti, almost like spaghetti looking swoops. He's orange and yellow. He's a puppet, but he's like our size of a puppet. Anyways, he's got a bunch of these like spaghetti things coming out of his head. They almost look like antlers that are kind of falling over like wet noodles, if that makes sense. Anyways, he's got 4 plastic spoons in him. Like the budget was weak considering it's big. 4 plastic spoons. He's clearly the Alpha Getti. Pardon?
The budget probably was weak.
I know, but it was a huge product. That's why I don't get why it was. Anyways, he comes in doing that Alpha Getti chant. Clearly the Alpha Getti Gobbler, especially considering he's saying, oh, Alpha Getti, when he's walking in. So the 2 kids come in, but and then he stirs up the pot on the rumor. He goes to the kids. Have you heard about the Alpha Getti Gobbler? He's basically asking them if he's heard about them. And so he tells them about the Alpha Getti Gobbler, who he is. So, and then he hypes oh, there's the Alpha Getti Gobbler now. So the 2 kids look because they're under 5. And then he gets into some Alpha Getti. And then the one kid turns in and goes, no, the Alpha Getti Gobbler. Like he busts them for being the Alpha Getti Gobbler, right?
It's been tricked.
Anyways, 32-second commercial. Emmett's seen it twice ever. I showed it to him once. He thought it was funny. This was when he was maybe not even 3 or just turning 3. Showed it to him once, thought it was funny, asked to watch it again, showed it to him, he cried because he was scared of the Alpha Getti Gobbler. I'm going somewhere with it. So he's scared of the Alpha Getti Gobbler.
Right now myself, he's stealing my food.
Yeah. So anyways, so he's only seen the commercial twice. It was maybe 2 years ago, at least over a year ago. We spent over a half an hour yesterday talking about this commercial. He's got so many questions for this 30-second commercial. It's
on
crazy.
Pause for like a 3-year burn of like, Dad, like, about that Alpha Getti Gobbler.
Yeah, like, and it's crazy because he asks, first of all, he says he thinks he's kind of funny, but a little bit scary, maybe when he's 5, he'll be ready to watch the commercial again. So he says that. Then he says, I don't even remember the Alpha Getti Gobbler taking the Alpha Getti. Well, first of all, he's only seen the commercial twice, and once he was crying during it. So the act of the stealing the Alpha Getti has only happened once in his vision. Anyways, so
That is wild.
I'm not even joking. He spends a half an hour asking about the Alpha Getti Gobbler, and he's convinced that he also looks like a Cheeto. So he thinks that he's the Cheeto Getti Gobbler as well, too. Anyways, he does an Alpha Getti Gobbler. Pardon?
That's a hot take.
Hot take, yeah. So it wasn't much of a story, but it's kind of cute.
No, I like it. It's cute.
And he thinks he's a Cheeto Gobbler too, and he does the imitation of the kid saying, "No, the Alpha Getti Gobbler," when he catches them. So he'll do that like all night long too. Yeah. But he'll talk about it forever. It's like he always talks to me about. He's obsessed with the fact that there's no way Darth Vader would ever want to hurt Luke Skywalker. And because it's his son, and he says no father would ever want to hurt his son. And he talks about how in Star Wars, Darth Vader has a black heart, but in the end, when he sees the Emperor hurting his son, his heart turns red, and he has to protect his son. We spend hours at night when he's in bed. We talk at night, and it's based on he wants me to talk about Anakin Skywalker being good with a good heart, turning into Darth Vader, and then Darth Vader's heart going back to turning red and protecting his son Luke. And I think that says something. Anyways,
amazing. Yeah,
so it's super sweet. And I can't talk much about what's going on in my situation because I could never get in trouble. But I will say one thing: if anyone ever needs support, even if it's a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend, frickin' find me. I'll talk to anyone at any time because it can be hell. So just, I'm not trying to get too real, but just honestly, honest to God, I'll talk to anyone, man, woman, whatever. Just be honest. Yeah, and I'm happy to talk to anyone and offer support. So you can tell I don't need to know them. I've had some great support. I've had support from people I didn't even know that well that have become my closest friends. And obviously I've had you, I've had Shim, I've had all the guys. My girls.
Yeah, it's been, I mean, without getting into it, like you say, it's been a ringer, and it's kind of crazy to watch it all unfold. And hopefully the end is coming at some point. But it's bonkers because the relationship you have with Emmett is priceless, and it's such a great time. And they'll make it the best of it.
Yeah,
like one of the things I know you pump my tires, I pumped your tires a bit, but like one of the things I've been thinking about with you too is like, your optimism is off the charts. Just how how through things, and like, you know, in the pool, like we're at the bottom, you're like, we're gonna make a run, we're gonna be up high, and like, just like way more people would be broken after all the stuff that you're going through than what you are, and it's commendable for sure.
Thanks. Yeah, it's not easy, and luckily I've had support, but man, there's a lot of broken people out there that don't have the support, and you know. I don't know how they're doing it, and maybe they're not even doing it, which is too bad. That's why reach out anytime.
Anyone. Even if it's a stranger, I'm willing to help a stranger too.
I wouldn't care who it
something
was.
on social media, and the person was I don't know, saying some dark stuff, and I ended up DMing them, just kind of say like what I sent to you, which we'll maybe link below, is the Tom Hanks "This Too Shall Pass." So it was it's pretty nice. As I think what he said was like. What he wishes that someone would have told him was "This too shall pass." So, you know, you're having bad times, things are going bad, you know, this too shall pass. You think everything's great, you're in the best mood ever, everything's going great, this too shall pass. So it's, you know, everything's a roller coaster, and you have some ups and downs, and if you're in the downs, wait for the ups, and if you're in the ups, enjoy them.
Yeah, and you can almost argue it's okay to feel the hurt because the good is so good then. You know what I mean? It's like extra good when you get to the finish line, right? Yeah. Like I feel like I have a bond with Emmett. I couldn't have had this bond without going through this because every moment is so precious. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's made things. Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
And shout out to Talia too, and Quaid, your son. We got to shout out all the kids. We can't just make them.
Oh yeah, and you're gonna probably see them at some point throughout, just for fun. And
yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that kind of came out of nowhere, but that's kind of good for me in terms of things that I kind of wanted to touch on. That was really just the Alpha Getti Gobbler story, but I wanted to show off the piece of art. And
That's
I
good.
found another thing too, not to get into anything. So I'm a huge Mac Miller fan. We might as well talk music for a second. I listen, like I find I love listening to him. I've been re-listening to him again. I'm like with the Beatles, the bubblegum years. I wasn't big on the Beatles early years, but the 67 to 70 Beatles, I love. Mac Miller, I wasn't big on his bubblegum years, but his last two albums before he passed or after he passed, Swimming and Circles, anyone that wants to try something different.
Wait, did Mac Miller, he passed away?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't think I knew that.
3 years ago now. Anyways, those two albums are great. So it is hip hop, but it's singy too. And I mean, like if you want to try something different, those two albums, Mac Miller's Swimming, Mac Miller's Circles. I know two guys that don't necessarily listen to hip hop that have wide ranges of music. Shout out to Brandon Flowers. Try those two albums, Swimming, Circles, and Downtown Robbie Brown. I know he'll always listen to some. He's a Rush guy, but he'll listen to anything. So,
well, I am a hip hop guy, and you've got me into him a bit. So I've listened to him. Man, I don't think I ever realized that he had passed. But
yeah. And I really didn't get into him till after I kind of rabbit holed him. I did the same thing with Amy Winehouse because I only knew that song Rehab, and I thought it was overplayed. So I was stuck in a traffic jam after she had passed, and CBC Radio did a 5-song spotlight on her. I couldn't believe how good she was. So then I just
say that's almost one of her worst songs.
No, that's why I never listened to her, because I wasn't into anything else. I can't believe how good she is or was. And I'm glad for that traffic jam, or I would never have known. And it was, unfortunately, I didn't know about Mac Miller till I heard he passed. So I just started looking into some stuff, and then this first Swimming came out. It was unbelievable. And then a year later, Circles came out, because he made the two albums together, because Swimming, Circles, right? And they're quite good. I would say the best two hip hop albums of the 2000s. That's how much I like them. But I'm not going to say that other albums aren't better. It's just my favorite two hip hop albums of the 2000s.
In your opinion, yeah, I get it.
And obviously, Tribes, We Got It From Here, or whatever it's called.
Always.
Anyways, sorry for that little.
But I think now we're probably more into the gambling part. I mean, I don't have much to add to the gambling side, because other than I've put some money in and lost it all. I did some. The funny thing is, well, what I will add is I had a stretch where I was winning a good chunk, and it was Betaway that I had put my money into, and that was up. I was up a good, almost $1,000, I would say.
Yeah.
And then they took it all away because I had put the money.
It was on your wife's credit card, right?
Yeah, it was a credit card that just her name's on it, but like it's our credit card, and they said that it has.
But your name wasn't on the account.
Be on your name. It's like, well, that's well, I don't even know if I got the refund on that yet. Being honest, I probably should check.
Yeah, and it's crazy. They didn't mind taking your money, but they didn't give. You know what I mean? They took away your winnings, but they didn't give you back what you put in and lost. Right?
And then I think it's created bad juju for the betting. It's been like, because I was on fire before that, and then
you were on fire, but you hit the tables again. You always hit those blackjack tables.
Well, I'm trying to stop in the tables, but like recently, I just haven't. I think I'm chasing a bit too. You
know what? Last night there would have been a great bet, and you would have lost if you would have liked it. Danielle Collins versus Elise Martins. I love a live in play. Collins was up. They're pretty much even money, them two playing each other. Collins was up 3-0 in the first set, so was offering 375. Like, so basically, if you put in 100, you would take out 375 if you won the bet on Martins. So you take that live in play in the first set. You expect her to lose the first set, but if she comes back and wins, it's bonus, right? Because you're taking her to win the match. Well, if you took Martins, she came back and won that first set. So then it was offering like 250 to pull out without even going to the other two sets, right? Now, the problem is Danielle Collins was nursing an injured back. So if you were betting on it, you probably would have I would have held on to it, is what I'm saying. And Collins came back and won.
Did
So,
she?
but anyways, good bet. This is a perfect example of when the money's doubles, when you get 100% return on a bet, pull it out, unless it's one of those big, crazy long-term ones.
Or
like
hedge it.
Yeah, or hedge it as you would do. But by pulling out early, it's the same, because what it's offering, it almost sounds sexual by pulling out early. Anyways, that takes away the hedge, because it's usually offering you what you would put on the other bet and lose.
Well, it depends. It depends on that. But like most of the time when I'm hedging, it doesn't, right? Like you would pull out and you get $50, but by hedging it, you're going to get 100 either way. Something like that, right? So
yeah, true. You're guaranteed to win.
it just
I get
depends
it.
on what you're gambling. I think with tennis, what you're saying is certainly more.
So can I talk about that big bet I made? Sorry, spoiler alert, I'm out. Like, I've lost. But to show kind of what I know what I'm doing, Madison Keys is still in it. She's playing in the quarters tonight, and she's beat the 8 seed. She's beat like the 11 seed, and she's now playing the 4 seed.
Yeah, so for everything you're telling me, she was a good pick. I mean,
yeah, so she, and even Karatsev, he lost in the 3rd round, but he was kind of gassed from the week before from winning that tournament. And Mannarino played better than he's ever played. Like, that's a winnable match. So
just to back up though, because I don't know that everyone's listened to the first 2, right? But like, so you had a bet for the Australian Open for those 2 players, someone on the female side and someone on the male side to win it all. And go ahead.
And combined, the 2 to win it, $100 paid $818,000. So it was like, I took the best 2 players available that I thought could beat everyone.
Almost $1 million?
Yeah, they paid the most money. So anyways, the point of the story is Madison Keys still in it and in the quarters, and Karatsev got to the 3rd round and should have won, and he lost. So, I mean, it was a legit good bet. And Keys, like, in retrospect, I should have just maybe taken her to win it straight up on her own, because to pick 2 winners is crazy.
Right.
I had taken Jelena Ostapenko a few years ago to win the French. $100 paid 10 grand, and she won it, which was amazing. Anyway, so that's that.
You pulled out and you did make a good little bit on it.
Well, yeah, still, because Karatsev was losing in the 4th set. He was down 2 sets to 1, and he was losing a breakdown in the 4th. So I actually pulled out and still got $438 on it.
Sorry,
and I know we're not talking big money like these big celebs, but pardon?
Was it the 3rd round?
Yeah, 3rd round. Yeah. So
and then we should touch maybe on the football. I don't know how much of the football did you watch? Did you watch any of the?
I haven't. You know what? I'm with all this concussion stuff the last few years, and I don't do fantasy football. I actually don't watch football at all anymore. I'm in a pool where I do a pick 'em even in the playoffs, but I haven't watched a legit football game in probably over a decade.
We missed some whoppers because they were all good games. I mean, I caught a little bit of the Bills game, and that was crazy.
Oh, crazy things happen. And here's a funny thing. This is how little I watch football now. I was on a plane home from Vegas on a Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, which is a crazy day to leave because most people would stay in Vegas for the Super Bowl. And they were the Super Bowl was on the plane, like it was streaming. You could watch it, and instead I rewatched the same movie twice. The one with
Something About Mary.
Which one?
I'm just joking. Something About
Julia
Mary.
Louis-Dreyfus, and the guy who passed away from The Sopranos. She was a masseuse in it, and she ended up falling for this guy. She fell for this guy, and this lady she massaged, it was her ex-husband. So this lady would come in, she'd massage her, and she'd be telling her all these bad things about her ex-husband. But then I almost called her Elaine. What's her first name again? Julia
Louis. Elaine's fine. I like
Elaine. So Julia would be telling this lady about this wonderful new man she's met. And then the lady would be telling Julia about this terrible ex-husband of hers. But it was the same guy. So anyway, so I watched that instead of watching football. Pardon?
Spoiler.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's a joke. A movie.
So I've said too much. You go on with what you have to say, because
no, I think that's about it, really.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good, I think.
Yeah. Do you want to? So I think next week we'll get a little bit into the golf marshals. We'll flesh out a little bit. I have a good idea of the second Eppy, so I got a little basis, but me and you could talk a little bit about it through the week, and then we could flesh it out so that it's a bit more developed.
If you don't want to talk about it now, right?
No, I think we should flesh it out a little bit. I mean, we can, of course, but I think we've got enough. We've gone
Okay,
long
that's
enough,
good.
basically.
I'm sorry I
So
crapped
wait,
out on the sign out.
no, what? You didn't? You don't have the sign out?
I said right at the start I didn't do the sign out.
What the heck's going on, man? We told people to wait to the end. You don't have a sign out.
I don't have a sign out.
Oh my gosh.
It's almost like you're overacting.
Next week, I'll have a sign out, okay?
Okay, you're doing the sign out next week.
Sign out next week, me.
I'm holding you to that. Okay,
right.
so let you sign us out because I feel like I talked too much at the end.
That's
so
it.
You
We're
sign us
done.
in, you sign us out.
That is the sign out. The sign out is next week. We have a sign out.
Perfect. So
Bye.
do we thank?
Sure,
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Please subscribe. Hit the thank you, or the not thank you, the like. Hit the thank you. Hit the thank you for giving me content button. There's no such button. All right.
Okay.
See you next time.